Yes, we can.
Okay, well, thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. This is 10th of August, 2026. There is a recent movie, Spider-Man, which has just come out, and there is this partnership with BMW, whereby they feature the advert of Spider-Man in the BMW cars. And that has been the motivation for this short session, whereby I decide to explore the prospect of cars becoming the new billboard. And this is us rethinking advertising, data, well-being, and digital mobility. And for those of you who don't know, my background is in marketing, and I do advertising, and gradually I've been getting more interested in transport as a service. So this is really of great interest to me when I see these two ideas collide together, whereby we have transport and also we have advertising. So you have this Spider-Man advert appearing inside thousands of privately owned BMWs. So as at the news on the Telegraph that was published 4th of August, and this is something I've been reflecting on over the weekend, saying this is advert moving beyond just social media. This is advert moving beyond TV, but now it is right in that enclosed space of cars. So the question I'm trying to really explore with this session is, what does this mean for the future of transformative transport? Now we see adverts on the train where we go to work, adverts on planes, advert everywhere. But now this is in our car. What does this really means? So reflecting on this, I think this is just beyond just BMW. This is not about BMW. It's just a case study that have recently happened, and that has been the motivation for this session. And we need to recognize that transport is now connected. You've got our Uber, you've got train app, everything getting connected. It is now software defined data. So data from your car, it knows when you start it, it knows when you're accelerating, it knows where you're going. You have Google Maps that tells us where you're driving to, that tells us how fast you are driving, that tells us if you've arrived your regular destination. And now everything is on platform. And with this, mobility is now becoming very digital. And with so many data at our disposal, advertisers, brands can therefore make a decision. And this is where we now see cars becoming a media platform, whereby as you start your car, it tells you some information. And this is something I've also observed in my own car as well, where you've been driving for so many times, it gives you that alert. Emmanuel, you need to take a break. It just tells you need to take a break. But imagine if there is a service station nearby. It knows that you've been driving for the past 20 minutes, and it can tell you, Emmanuel, in the next 30 minutes, there will be a Starbucks. Go there and have a break. But now the car is just telling me, Emmanuel, you need a break. But very soon, could this car be telling me, Emmanuel, you need to go to Starbucks to have a break? Because Starbucks has done a partnership with Mercedes to say, whenever you are telling your drivers to have a stop, mention Starbucks with them. So our cars becoming this platform. And this is where we sort of really reflect on the evolution of transport advertising. So previously, when we are traveling, we only see adverts on the roadside, on billboards. Yes, you have those big billboards on the roadside that tells you there's a next McDonald's nearby. They are outside our control. They are just not within our space. But gradually, we started seeing adverts inside trains, inside buses. So on trains, you have this advert by the side because you are just sitting idly in the car, in the bus. You just wander around, you see those adverts. But now, advertisements are now being connected into our vehicle interface, like the example where we are right now with this BMW and Spider-Man collaboration. But now looking at what does advertising looks like in the next future, whereby you have data-driven personalized mobility advertisement, whereby this car knows where you are, it knows the brands that are around you, so it can tell you you need a stop, but you might as well just stop in McDonald's because they've seen that there is a McDonald's 5 minutes before you. Guys, it's interesting because the car knows where you are. It knows that you are tired. It knows you've been driving for so long. Perhaps it can even start connecting it with your card. And this is something that is of interest to me. And that's why I thought of sharing it with the world to see this is something that I believe it's emerging, and just to hear your thoughts to see how well things are going. Why is this different? You might be asking. We've seen advertisement all around us, but I tell you it is getting different now. Previously, advertisements are in external environment, like on the billboard, outside within the train, but not within our dashboard as drivers, whereby we see this advert coming to our space. Previously, advertisement has been operator owned. That is, the train company will partner with an advertising agency to have advert in their train. That train is owned by, let's say, Nigerian Railway. Nigerian Railway has that partnership with advertising agency, not with me as an individual. But now you have this advert coming into my own space, whereby I have control over. And previously, many of these adverts are static. You have like your poster, you just paste it on the board and you are gone. Maybe you sign the contract for the next 12 weeks. Next time another person comes, they remove that advert, they peel it off. But now you have softwares being delivered into your cars. Your cars tells you to upgrade your software. So now advertisement can be pushed to you in real time. And also in terms of advertisement, it's often generic. You go on the train, they don't know who is who. They just say, oh, you need to buy a new coffee. You need to do this. But now, advertisement can actually be potentially contextual, whereby they know where you are and they can serve you advertisement based on that. So also in terms of data, now the car is getting so many data from you and they can make that informed decision. So the question is not how do we get advertisement, but who controls the digital mobility environment whereby this advert comes. And in terms of connected mobility paradox, this is where we have concern of why am I driving this car? Number one, I just want to get navigation. That is why I have this dashboard. I want to make sure it's safe. It's connectivity. You have your EV charging. Everything is connected. So the car knows you've got 5% battery. This can take you 5 kilometers. So digitalization is there for a purpose to make sure the journey is smooth. But now it also opens opportunity for commercial targeting, for remote advertising, and also behavioral data collection. They know where you travel to, they know how often you travel, they know the speed at which you travel, they know the things around you. You've got the location-based advertisement whereby they can connect and triangulate your location with the location of your car, the location of the Bluetooth in your phone, and therefore they can start serving us advertising. So can technologies be designed to improve mobility, but also now commercializing that mobility? So those are the things that I've been reflecting on. And in terms of emerging well-being, safety, even though it is shown when the car is stationary, that is where we are right now. But can it actually be shown when you are driving? We don't know. But for now, it's only being shown when you're stationary. And also, can user really refuse this? Can I click something in my car saying I don't have an advert? I don't want an advert. How about in terms of privacy? But the key point here that people need to think about is the psychological ownership. I own this car. I have paid BMW 60,000 pounds to buy this car. So therefore, why are you encroaching into my space and still serving me advertisement? So think about Netflix. Many people will pay for a different types of Netflix because they don't want adverts. They just want to watch their movie and that is it. But now, are you going to start selling a different car which will be cheaper because you're allowed to serve advert in it? So these are some of those emerging questions that I've been reflecting upon. And just to share to see, guys, what do you think?
बस चाहता हूँ 5 मिनट अभी प्रेजेंटेशन है ना वही तो बना रहा हूँ
Dr. Bat, you are mute. Okay, that's
oh,
good.
I'm so sorry.
That's fine. So as emerging concept, this is something I'm reflecting on. Connected vehicles, this digital interface, commercial access, and also the social effect. How does it come to that part whereby people start checking which car do I buy? How does this affect my own well-being? And will people be serving me advert just because I drive a particular car? Will I be missing out on some things because I drive a particular car? So if I drive Nissan, will I get a different recommendation compared to if I'm driving a BMW? So these are some of those emerging issues that I have been thinking about. And I must recognize this build up on some of these previous works I've seen. So this is one from Oscar, whereby they've looked at the impact of road advertising sign on driver behavior and implication for road safety. So you have this whole body of work on road advertising. But like I said at the beginning, this is outside scope of the car. But this is now coming into the car. And also I've done some research on the transformative transport services, whereby leveraging sustainability and technology through marketing management. That is, how do we therefore start connecting advertising, marketing into the car that we have, and also by the virtue of the data that we're having. And this is another work that we did again. Yes, Dr. Bat worked with us on this, where we looked at the data ownership. Who owns this data that these cars are generating? Is it BMW? Is it the car owner? Or is it going to be a regulator that really reflect on this? So these are some of these existing body of work that I just thought of connecting with. So like I said, this was just a short presentation to showcase this idea and to just see where it's going. So in terms of research agenda, these are some of those questions that I'm thinking about. How do drivers really perceive this unsolicited in-vehicle advertising? Do they really feel it's necessary? Do they feel it's helpful? Do they feel it's needed? And when does commercial communication becomes this intrusion? I have bought my car, but you've signed a partnership with BMW and Spider-Man. Does that need to affect me? And how does ownership influence acceptance? Should mobility interface remain advertising free? That is a question I think is important for us to reflect on. Many people have really said things against this old BMW advert, but it's just to show you that, yes, this is something that they started so small and now can really emerge. So another question is, how will autonomous vehicle change this expectation? So at least now I have BMW, I can control it, but look at when you have an autonomous vehicle whereby you don't even own the car. So this is like now a train, but this advert is in the space of a car that you've decided to use. How will autonomous vehicle really change this expectation? So these are some of those things I've been reflecting on. And thank you so much for your attention on this. But I hope this is something that we'll be discussing further in terms of data, in terms of advertising, in terms of transportation, in terms of autonomy, and also in terms of privacy. And my final thought is that, yes, the future challenge for transportation is not just about data, but it's not about who will be governing this commercial digital mobility ecosystem. Whose responsibility is it? How will we take this forward? And question again, should manufacturers have the right to advertise inside vehicles after purchase? So there are going to be so many questions about this. Again, how about if it's on lease? Because they will tell you only borrowed this car, so we can do anything we want with it. How about if it is on an autonomous vehicle whereby you don't own it, but somebody else owns it and you are just using it for a few minutes for this drive? And these are some of those things I believe we need to start talking about. And should connected cars become advertising platforms? And who owns this? Who owns our mobility attention? If I'm driving, should I be distracted by advert, or would they soon be designing adverts that will not interfere with us? So again, thank you so much for your time and attention. Like I said, this is just a short session to share this idea, to recognize this is something important that needs to be talked about, that needs to be recognized. And I'm sure very soon, as people get interested, this will be more emerging topic. But for now, thank you so much for your attention. And again, if you have any question or discussion, this will be how you can contact me. You can reach out to me, but that is all for now. Thank you so much, and I appreciate your time. Yes, any thought or question? I know it's just a short one, but any thought or feedback, please. Thank you.
Yes, I'd like to say thank you for this presentation. It's actually an exciting contemporary
Mm.
issue, and I believe that you've raised some critical questions, especially in relation to the privacy issues, the psychological ownership, and even the economic perspective. If you pay so much for a car,
Yeah.
why then do they have to now leverage that to, generate more money on their side? I think people will be interested in such conversation. My only question is, so how will this project evolve? Will it start with a book call? Will it be
Mm.
empirical paper development? What direction can we
Mm.
expect?
Thank you. I will imagine starting with a conceptual paper to write it up, to raise this research agenda. So that will be
Okay.
the first thing that I'll be working on, to just again bring this officially to
Yeah.
true peer review, just for people to
Okay.
recognize that I've thought about this and these are the things that will be important. Then
Okay.
secondly, this is where I will be going through some of those research questions. For me, I will be interested in how do drivers perceive unsolicited advertisement in cars. So this could now be a research topic on its own. So this
Okay.
could be me now asking drivers saying, what do you think of advertisement in cars? So for
Okay.
now, the action point, number one, start with a conceptual paper to, again, this is just a short session to talk about it, but a real conceptual paper to recognize that, excuse me, guys, there is something brewing. There is something imaginary, just to put it out. Then after that, I will be picking and I'll be sharing this as research agenda. But for me, I'm more interested in that driver's perception, because if drivers don't like it, then
Yeah.
advertisers should think twice. Then also brand owners. So you have three stakeholders there: the car owners,
Yeah.
the advertisers who might be thinking of putting advert in people's car, and then the car
Yes.
manufacturers themselves. How do three of us agree or disagree on this? So that is things I'll be sharing. But thank you so much for your time.
Thank you too.
You're welcome. Yes, Dr. Bart, I assume you are mute, but again, it's been a pleasure to share this with you. And you are part of the humble beginning. So when this grow big, I will also recognize you as the as those who joined me while I started this. But thank you so much.
It's
Dr.
always
Bart, any comments before we bring
it's
the meeting
always
to an end?
wonderful to listen to you. I mean, every time that we have any interaction, there's so many takeaways from your conversation. So thank you very much. I loved it completely.
Thank
There
you.
are a few ideas that I have in my mind. So probably in our next Tratsedi meeting, probably I'll raise
Okay.
it forward and then we can work together on the research paper. Yeah.
That's fine. Thank you so much, everyone. That'll be all for now. We will be in touch. I think I know your contact, and we just see how we can take this forward. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye for now.
Brilliant.
Thank
Thank you
you.
very
Have a
much.
good day too.